2, 5, 3, 1. Good morning to you. How are you there, Mr. Brian?
Great. Got up about 6, slept in, but I'm going to go with the new schedule of 6 o'clock. I'm going to
6 o'clock for.
wean off the 4. The 4 was a little much for a while. So.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's summertime. You got to sleep in a little bit more, or it's starting to become that. It feels like it.
Well,
And
plus,
that's whether it's spring, but it's getting there.
yeah, no, we
feel late.
people feel creative at night, and I want some night work.
Yeah, and and the tide is changing a little bit. I think as far as just feeling a little more upbeat in the sun,
Yeah.
and it's getting there. It's been a long fucking winter. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, about 1 year and 3 months.
Yeah, it
Really?
really has. I thought it was
all of
long.
2020, all of 2020, and then
Yeah,
up to now, a year and a half. Wow.
yeah. I thought it was a very long winter last winter because
Yeah.
I broke my ribs, and then the whole COVID shit. My family was sick, and then whether we had COVID or not, I don't know. But it just seemed like a very, very, very long winter last year, and then it just extends through the whole next year. It's like, holy crap, that was just weird. But we've lived through something,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
2019 ended with a New Year's party celebrating my son's business and all that, and we did it in a makeshift tent that's turned into a studio. So,
Hey, yeah, think about that.
Maybe we needed a year off.
I think the fishes think we did, because I heard the numbers are up really, really well this year. So
The what?
the fish and the livestock and the fish and the rivers.
Oh, they're all doing well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of time off. The government said, hey, for a while there, was just kind of an odd thing, because honestly, I don't know how they could really contract. I mean, I could understand a little bit at first how, in the COVID thing, but then it was like, well, why can't people fish outside? You should be able to fish at the rivers and streams. Maybe ocean and stuff I can understand, because if you check the record, there's over 30,000 calls a year on the Coast Guard having to help somebody. And in my mind, that's how I was okay with that. First, I was like, well, if they have to go out and go and contact people who are stranded, or help them, these boats that are failing, then they're going to be right in contact with everybody. And the Coast Guard shouldn't have to if they don't have to get in contact with people who are diseased ridden, whatever. You never know how bad this is. At first we didn't anyway, but then
I think they're all back in action. The Coast Guard will be.
Yeah, they're all back in action. But I thought to myself, that could be a reason why they stopped the fishing vessels. If you didn't have to do it, then don't. But as far as like just John Q. Public want to go fish, there shouldn't be a problem with that. Obviously, we're 6, 10, 20,000 feet away from people a lot of times,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think this the good weather coming up is great, and it makes me want to write more at night, because sometimes in the morning at 4 o'clock, writing's hard because your mind's not quite there yet. But
I wouldn't think it would.
Evening, it's nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't think writing in 4 o'clock in the morning would be beneficial, but then again, I don't know, because I've never tried it.
Yeah, well, what happens is you get up and if you just sit down, ideas start to come, so it's pretty good. But sometimes at night it's good too. I want to do a morning session and a night session. So
now I know you're writing. Are you writing multiple things, or are you still working on that one book?
I'm writing. I'm rewriting or not even rewriting. I'm editing the book, so I'm starting on other projects. We were throwing out ideas, you and I, and we got another story coming. So yeah, I'm not in the writing phase.
Oh, most definitely. I was what you were going to say. Hey, I've got 3 different stories going on besides,
Well, I got a lot of ideas in the early stages. We have one that's a pretty good story. That's the story's set up. We just have to figure out how to write a script and all that. So
yeah, I think our story's doing pretty good at the moment. So
yeah,
I do think so.
Yeah, and I'll write ideas down all the time and skits. And
yeah, you're missing the salute, Brian.
What's that? What's that? Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
But
really enjoying writing limericks. That's been fun. That's good exercise and it's fun.
oh well, if this other one that I did yesterday, by the way, I attempted to, was actually taken off of something else. It was. I'll try to redo it correctly right here, which is, "Oh, little town of Kelso, once referenced as Little Chicago, a place full of fights and wild ass nights with loggers and boogers and brothel. No, and popo. I messed it up again.
Now what's
Damn it.
What is Popo?
The popo's the police.
Oh wow, the cops, huh?
Yeah, so
Buzz.
a place full
Yeah.
of fights and wild ass nights with loggers and brothels and popo. So yeah, because the police, you got to reference the police with the prostitute on the
Oh
corner.
yeah, back in the day.
Back in the
Well,
day.
you had to buy they had to buy the cops off for the most
Yeah,
part.
my dad was one of them, so I don't know how they paid him off.
Well, in the 20s, they
Love you,
did
Dad.
for sure. Well, in the 20s, they had to pay them off for the booze and the prostitutes.
That's right. Yeah, but yeah, my dad was in the '60s, so I don't know how they did that, but
Little different. There was no prohibition, so it was just the prostitution.
yeah, and the brothels were still legal. So I'm not sure when the last legal prostitution ring was here in town. And honestly, and I don't mean to, if anybody's listening, and I'm not trying to get sexual, but I bet you anything that prostitution will become the next legal thing. If they're making drugs legal, there's no reason, good God-given reason why you can't.
I don't know. I don't know if the prostitution in Kelso was ever legal. It was bought off by the cops. I don't think it was ever a legal prostitution. It was just looked the other way.
It looked the other way, yeah, but it was looked the other way. But I mean, as far as it goes, I think prostitution in America, it's odd, different places have different things. Some places, brothels have always been legal in like Nevada,
Yeah, Nevada's always had that.
which is, people are like, what? Yeah, no, people don't realize that the prostitution is legal in Nevada and not in the city limits of, it's weird. That's the problem. You have like these weird little,
Yeah.
not in my neighborhood, but over there next door, you can, it's like, okay, whatever. But
No, that's a fun subject because Longview is kind of the clean town, apparently. I got something about that. It's called Kelso's Shady Ladies, and this gal, her grandpa or uncle was a big time guy in the booze and I believe prostitution. But she talked about the prostitution in Kelso. This was Daily News 2005.
Really?
Her grandpa was a bootlegger. Her grandma was a prostitute, and her aunt was one of Kelso's most notorious madams.
Really?
Wow.
That's awesome.
She's not ashamed. I just think it's funny to come from.
Why would you be ashamed?
Yeah, she says, I think it's funny, man, to come from a colorful family. They were all super neat people.
Yeah, and you know what? You can never be ashamed of your past because, I mean, of your family. You weren't, you were born. You should be happy to be born wherever you're born. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's kind of fun. I wish we would play off of this. People would come to this town if they could get into this crazy, wild body history, listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some sort of video playing. You hearing that?
Nope. I hear nothing.
From the early 1900s to the mid 50s, Kelso was famous for his taverns and brothels, a Disneyland of sorts for trainloads of loggers who poured into town on weekends, in search of women, liquor, gambling, and fights. Wow.
Yeah.
28 houses of ill repute in the heyday when it was Little Chicago.
Holy crap.
28 houses.
Holy eight. Wow.
Yeah, so they should call Chicago Big Chicago, and Kelso should be called Chicago.
Well, they should call Chicago Big Kelso.
Yes, there you go.
Hey, well, I want to read the rest of that, actually, that story. Can you pop back up there?
Bring it back. You like that? Huh? That's wild. I might have lost it.
Well, I was that through it. Wow. 28 brothels in Kelso. That's like, every other house. No, I mean, but
for 8,000 people, you got 28 brothels. That's quite a bit. How many bars we got?
yeah, that's like a on every bar above it, there was probably a problem.
Yeah, and I think our Longview had 0, so it was all Kelso was making some money back then.
Well, you never know. I would look
Well, he
into
did.
that
He
one.
didn't allow them, but you never know what people did.
Yeah.
Disney called it a Disneyland of sorts. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good
Let me
article.
find it. It's here. It's ready to go.
Baby Bell, baby.
Back to the article by Amy M.E. Fisher. I remember that name from the past.
Well, Fisher was
She was
notorious in something.
No, she was a reporter for the Daily News. Well, yeah, the other Amy Fisher was really notorious. Okay. There's little written evidence that these establishments ever existed, which makes my story, I can do anything I want. See, that's what I like. There's no real history. Despite the backbone of the economy for decades, Cowlitz County's history books, such as Camilla Summers About Kelso, devote only a handful of paragraphs to the town's adult recreational activities. If they touch on it at all, official records have been destroyed, and the local museum doesn't possess a single artifact or photo related to prostitution. That's called a cover-up, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. We need to bring it all back and have fun and have some gangster parties.
Yeah. Everybody bring your dildos and drop it down at the museum and tell them there's some artifacts.
Well, this gal writes a book about Kelso and doesn't even talk about that. So it's not really a book about Kelso, but that's okay, Camilla. We still love Camilla. A lot of people can't handle it. It's a little rough for people.
Many of those remember the Roaring Nights are gone, and some are just taking secrets to the grave. And this is true. I know that.
Official records destroyed. That's wild.
That is,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy because
yeah,
as I know, I mean, my own father was told by his commanders to go to the brothel and ask them how many tickets they wanted to the policeman's ball.
Yeah.
They were not going to go to the policeman's ball. They just were, donating basically to the cause.
Graft, they call it, corruption.
Yeah, it's called corruption.
The beauty is there's no history, so nobody can say, oh, you got that wrong. In my book, they can't say that. It's a fictional history, but they can't make any claims because there's no history of that part. So it's kind of
either way, that's a good little article that Gal made.
That's really good. Amy M.E. Fisher from 2005. She's probably moved on, but who knows? Daily reporter.
I don't remember her. I remember the name.
My favorite was Tom Palou. Remember him, Palou?
Oh, Paula. I thought it was Paula.
Tom Palou, no, Lou. And then he wrote entertainment and outdoors and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I wish I only know a couple of the writers now, if they have any writers at all. It's and those ones work on like the neighborhood and like nonprofit stuff and benefits go on in the area.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of writers left over there. They do let people write their own stories now, so that's cool.
They do. Well, I think
if you have a good story and turn it in, they'll use it.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should rewrite the history books.
Well, I'm rewriting it. I'm making it wild. But some stories are true where the police chief was in the parade driving a criminal's car, that the criminal loaned the police for the parade because
yeah
they're on the take. That's a great story. I'm using that sucker. I'm stealing that.
And what is that story?
From 1923, there's a parade, and in the parade was this nice car, and it was loaned to the police by the guy who had them in his pocket. One of the top guys, one of the top. Well, he was a bootlegger, and he had the prostitution and all that, and he needed the cops to not get in the way. So he let him use his car. He gave him money. That's verifiable stuff. I've read that.
Well, I know how it goes because there was a parade here a few years back, and I asked one of the local felons to borrow his car. Love you, but
yeah, that's different. You're not a policeman.
No, I'm not. And it was a Rolls Royce, and I got to drive that. And that was pretty amazing.
Now, if the police seized a drug dealer's car and drove it in a parade to show off that they got the guy, I could live with that.
Right? I could too. I really could.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff where they have the auctions, I guess now, which is pretty cool. I should look into them with the auction stuff more often because
I don't think the cops are crooked like that around here anymore. I think we've got a good force.
Well, yesterday, on Cowlitz County Real Estate website, someone posted a house for sale,
Wow.
and it says attention, an investor type thing, because it was a great deal on a house. It was $300,000, which sounds like a decent. I mean, it's a okay price at the moment, but this house looks like it could be an enchanted forest looking place. Really super cool. Really super cool, and it's a great looking house. But it's $300,000. So I was like, wow, something's wrong with it. Well, obviously it needs a new roof and some other stuff. But somebody posted below it, this house, they filmed more porn in this house than anywhere in the United States, type thing, or something like that.
Uh,
So apparently, it was known as a I don't know, prostitution, whatever, and porn filming place, which is
wow.
right. That's right by the Walmart and Ocean Beach Highway. It's like hidden back there. I never seen it before. That's
I
kind of
don't,
funny.
yeah, that's not really illegal activity though. That wouldn't
No.
bother me at all. That wouldn't bother me. If somebody had been murdered in the house, I wouldn't buy it. But the porn, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Sage. Get sage and light it on and get rid of all that bad spirit. Because that's
Evil,
that
the
spirit.
bad mojo.
That's bad mojo, but you can get rid of it with sage.
Yeah.
My house is the reverse of haunted. I have people come over and tell me how much they love it, how great a times they've had here, and how good it is, and the feeling of the people. And it's like great. It's a reverse haunting.
Yeah. There you go. Well, and that's wherever I go, baby. That's the ABCs about me. That's just
I have
me
two
being happy.
Bibles on the mantle. I'm throwing in some good spirits.
No, I have a Bible here and a Bible there, everywhere. Bible. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Bible,
I have a couple Bibles
everywhere.
here.
There once was a man with 3 Bibles. That's all I got.
Yeah, there is.
Problem with a lyric or a limerick. You're like, the first line's great, but that's all I got.
There once was a man with 3 Bibles. Everyone found him liable. I don't know. Anything here. Okay, let's not do that
Yeah,
one.
we'll work on that. That's a tough one. I led us into a dark hole there. Oh,
You
I
did.
wanted to show you. This is not as good a shot as you'd like, but it's kind of in the realm of what you're trying to get in the studio. And I was just testing out the microphone. So this is kind of the look of the stage, and you like the shot through the couch, and we'll work on that. But it's looking good, and we need somebody to grace the stage Friday night. I'd love to have a couple people sing a duet. Do you know anybody? Do you know
Yeah,
anybody?
yeah. We'll get there. I mean, I'm not gonna top of my head. I've got.
No, I'm just saying anybody, if you know anybody, we'll get them on stage. We want them to sing.
I want him to sing on the dance. I want to see
There you go.
some variety. Speaking of which, do we have any tap dancers? Hello, my baby. Hello,
There's
my
got to
darling.
be some in this town. There's so many
Oh, I
dances.
know there is. We just got.
There's evergreen dance. There's
Yeah,
performing art. There's so many.
yeah. There's a lot of good stuff.
I
out
want
there.
some rappers too. We've had rappers in the garage before when it was.
Dude,
top.
I have more rappers than you can shake a stick at.
There you go. We need somebody that can turn a rhyme, do some hip hop. There's people in this town with some rhythm.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll have some video on there. I'm sure we'll.
Oh, today,
something-
Holy Saturday, day of reflection, because it's the one day where doubt sank into everyone, and faith was really necessary because Jesus had died, and now we're waiting. So it's like a day of reflection and thought, and wonder. Some doubts would creep in. Is he going to really come back? It would have been a heavy day Saturday.
I would have, but let's go on a different route there.
Well,
I'm gonna
that's
take
good.
that.
No, that's good. Sunday is the day of resurrection. That's beautiful.
Tomorrow's Easter. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
you
Absolutely.
can't. Yeah, you have to have that day before the beautiful day, the greatest
Well,
day.
I was thinking about that, your doubt right there, and I was going to ask you was, you have 2 wonderful boys,
Yes.
and was there ever a time that your doubt was renewed, as far as you were renewed out of your doubt with your kids when you're like,
many times. Yeah.
when you're like, you realize, hey, my kid's going to be fine, and
Oh yeah, many times.
any stories you want to tell? By any
Well,
chance?
just like when one of my sons was having trouble at the end of his, during his senior year, and it was neck and neck when he graduate, and we pulled it off. He did it, but I helped a lot, and so did a lot of people. So it was like a resurrection. It makes you believe that the next thing.
And he proved you wrong. He proved
I
you
was
wrong,
right.
kind of. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it didn't prove me wrong. I believe he
No, I
was.
mean he
Yeah,
he
he
restored faith
proved
in you.
he proved the school wrong in a sense, but the
Yeah,
school wanted him to graduate. They weren't against him, but he proved himself wrong in a sense. He made it, and it was so powerful. It was like, but I was determined. I was going to make sure he graduated if I had to, bribe the principal. But I didn't have to get there. But
sure,
I had a few
sure.
meetings with Mr. Rich Reeves, and I respect him deeply.
Well, that's good. Well, you don't have to tell me that now. Your kid's already passed. Okay.
Well, that was
I'm
true.
kidding.
He did some stuff that I really appreciate. There's a few things you can do that it's like man to man, you can do something, and the
Yeah, but
guy stand up guy. He has his. We all have our faults, but sometimes a guy will do something. You go, that guy's all right.
we're talking about your kids. They pulled it out for you.
Yeah,
You restored their faith. They restored your faith, huh?
I felt that with myself too. Resurrection. I had one like last year when the COVID started. After all the crap I went through at work, most of which I caused, so I went up to the creek and kind of had a cleansing moment. It was incredible. It was real. I believe it was a religious experience, but water is very spiritual. Flowing water, geez.
Sure. Yeah, it can
Yeah,
be.
that was a
Definitely.
resurrection.
No, there you go. Well, yeah, I have a thought in my head, not a thought, but a memory in my
What
head.
you have? You must have had several.
Well, I have
Yeah,
several,
literal.
of course. Yeah. The thing is that when my son is now 20, so I think he was 12 at the time. And I may have told you the story before, but just in case I won't, I'll tell you. But
Well, can I say one thing first, though?
sure.
I got to do this. It's hard to beat you in resurrection stories because you came back from the dead.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not going there. I'm not going
4 times, so it's hard.
Yeah. I'm not talking about me. Not talking about
I know,
me.
but as far as you versus me, I can't even compete.
Well, I'm not talking about.
No, I know, but
I'm not talking about me.
It's
I'm
like
talking
you've
about
been to the moon in a sense. So
right. Yeah. But that's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm
But
talking
you
about
have a story where you saw
with
it.
people, with people that with my son in particular, that who renewed faith in me forever, and that was we were 12 years old. He was 12 years old, and we were at a parade, and 12-year-olds are kind of punks. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like 12, 15-year-old. They do some nasty stuff sometimes, and we're in this parade, and basically all the people are throwing candy dust, and I can keep seeing this. He wants to throw candy back at them, type of thing. And I'm
wow!
like, yeah, and he didn't. But then I was like, okay, well, here comes from the parade. Here comes this old farmer truck. It's not farmer truck, actually, it's a tractor. On the back of the tractor is a little boy who is he's screaming the whole time, just screaming. And then you realize he comes by, he's a little developmentally disabled.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for my son. I can see this piece of candy in his hand, and he's going to chuck it at this kid and hit him with it. I can just see his evil little eyes, his beady little eyes, man. He's like, I'm gonna hit that kid right now. I can see it. I'm like, and I'm still going, don't even move. If you do that, I'm gonna backhand you so quick. You know what I mean? He doesn't know that, but that's right in my head because I did stupid shit like that. And that's why. So, and I'm watching him in this parade, and all of a sudden, this kid, and it's just he's just screaming, screaming and whining, and he goes past, and all of a sudden, my son just reaches back there and runs out in the street, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude! And he runs out to this guy in the tractor and the boy, and he hands him a big old lollipop.
Oh wow, I love
that. The kid was disabled, and he was. Everybody else, all these kids were getting candy thrown at them, and this kid had none, So he was in the parade, and Chandler handed him a lollipop.
Yeah, faith in humanity.
Faith in humanity was totally restored, dude.
Yeah, I like
my son. Obviously, just he boosted my ego so much that day. I mean, just by doing that, I was like, wow, my son is an all-star. He just, that was his heart, it was huge. That was a big time for me. I was teary-eyed thinking about that one. But that was like, wow, he's just awesome, And that's why there's a few times in my life where I've had doubt with him, and he's proven me wrong. So
Yeah.
I don't ever want to doubt my kids, but
I had two moments with my older son. One, we were at his graduation, and the guy, the valedictorian, was giving a speech and said he wanted to, when he's younger, he wanted to kill himself, had no reason to live, got into musical theater and changed his life. Said one of the people that was the biggest part of it was Keenan, my son. And it's like the whole place was crying, the whole R. Long Stadium. Powerful stuff. I was like,
wow, that's
wow.
cool. That's cool. I mean, yeah.
Well, and also when a young man that that passed away, and he had that NF, I don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce it, but he had that, and he invited Keenan to his last dinner, so that was pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's neurofibromatosis.
Yeah, that
And
stuck
if I
with
slow
me.
my words down, I even say big words like that. Neurofibromatosis.
That kind of
But
puts a lump in my throat every time I think about the Dino Doozer and all that.
yeah, yeah. So the Dino Doozer, by the way, is a foundation that we've been working on for the last 10, 11 years. 11, I would say 10 years last year when we were going to celebrate and have a bow tie affair.
Yeah,
That type of event, but we temporarily are not defunct. We're just temporarily holding back because
yeah.
all the clientele we help are in that very susceptible category of people that they can't get out of their houses and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Did can you talk about the thought you might want to, that there might be a camp around here that could be used for that you might
Oh yeah,
have
most
access?
definitely. Well, currently, yeah, we have a tendency. We every year we take all these kids from the Northwest. Actually, when I say Northwest, that's from Portland to, actually we've been in California before, but they have neurofibromatosis, and neurofibromatosis is basically tumors that grow on the end of your nervous system, on the end of your nerves. And so these kids can have, well, if you ever grow up and see somebody who's like 30, 40 years old or 50 years old, and they've got a million tumors on their, or not tumors, they're like warts all their body.
Wow. Never
You ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's
maybe, but I don't
it's
recall. But
there's a few of them around here, but
yeah.
matter of fact, one of the workers of the Salvation Army who was in charge last year, who was here, she had it, and she had all these looks like tumors all over everything, but they're, or look like warts, but they're not warts, they're actually tumors on the end of her nerves. And when I talked to her and I asked her about it, she was very surprised that I knew everything, and she'd never met anybody else besides her family that had neurofibromatosis. And I think it's one every 2,000 kids have this neurofibromatosis, and sometimes that they don't pop out. Sometimes the tumors don't. Sometimes they grow inside on their brain. Sometimes they grow everywhere. So these kids are they never have a normal life. Never. Sometimes they look normal, but they'll have to have surgeries. I don't know how many times in their life. It's just horrible. So anyway, so this camp called Camp NF, neurofibromatosis, or Camp New Friends. That's the camp they have currently. That's back east, and we raise money for them throughout the year, and then a lot of times we'll take these kids for the first, maybe it might be their only time they get to do this, go to this camp, and for the first time in their life, they actually have they feel normal, because there's no kid that's not there that doesn't have that disease, and they feel amazing, and they learn a lot more stuff. A lot of these kids are developmentally disabled because you can't go to school if you're going to doctors all the time. You can't, you just can't do it. I mean, you can, but everything gets hindered and held back, basically. So a lot of them are developmentally disabled, a little bit, just a little bit, and
Or delayed. They might be
yeah,
developmentally delayed.
Yep. And
Well,
so
I was
it's
going to ask, how long is the camp?
the camp's only like a week and a half, but that's for us it makes it about 2 weeks, because we take care of them the day before they go. They usually we put them on a bus or a limousine of some sort, bring them down to and they do this all on their own. It's the whole thing, as the doctor has to give them approval to travel by themselves and there's somebody watching them on the plane and stuff. And then when they get there, they get taken from the shelter to the camps and stuff, and not shelter, but the vehicles to the camps. It's a big trip for them. It's a huge growing opportunity for them personally.
And
And
you said you might have access to a nearby camp within the 100 miles or 50 miles or something.
yeah, I actually have a camp available to us here, which is there's a Camp David. I'm sorry, Camp Arnold. Uh, not Camp David.
I don't think Biden's going to approve of your attempt. He might,
Yeah,
though.
no,
He
no.
might.
There's a Camp Arnold, which is not that far away, and uh,
Is it used at all during the regular summers?
yes, absolutely. It's used all. It's used also. It's all June and July is all of the Salvation Army. They have thousands of kids. Matter of fact,
Oh, wow.
we have kids here locally that we probably about 50 of them last year we sent.
When,
But you're,
what time of year, if you had it in the local camp, what time of year would you send them there?
I would send it in August, and
Oh, great. See, I
and the
love
re-
that.
the reason why is because like I said, I have to have the camp open to do that, and so I have the facility already, and we can
Yeah.
borrow or rent from the Salvation Army, and then I have to pay for doctors to be there for a couple of days. A lot of them will volunteer to do that if I want to set it up, But I have
Yeah.
to, but you have to pay for food and shelter and everything else.
So do you think they'll have camp in 2022, but not 2021? Or what are your thoughts? 2022?
Yeah,
That'll give you
I-
time to fundraise and get it all together. That'd be awesome to have it here in the Northwest. So.
yeah. Well, that's the goal is to not have to send them. And I love the Camp New Friends is awesome. It's back, like I said, back east, but it's fantastic. But it's way over there. These kids,
Yeah.
we had we had something happen last year, or the year before last. where-
2019, I remember. It was something to do with the planes and the doctors and things like that. but-
Yeah, and the kids were left on on the plane. Everybody left, and there was like a dozen kids left on the plane, and then they changed planes, and these kids are they end up being about 18 hours without seeing talking to their family and getting their meds
Yeah.
because their meds have been packed underneath it, and they had to basically play doctors for themselves. It was a really weird.
Well, having
it's
it
a weird-
here, having it around here would be great for a lot of reasons, including the logistics.
Yeah, logistically it'd be great, and that's what this all spurred from the young man that you were talking about a moment ago.
Yes.
I
I never met him, but Keenan talked about him, and then when he went to dinner with him, it was powerful. But
he is the doozer. He was
he's the
Doozer
Dino
was his
Doozer.
Sherrod Nichols was his name, and
Yeah.
he had died at 16, I believe.
Yeah.
See, once these kids, they don't all die, mind you. A lot of kids will live forever. They do great. A lot of people do, but once they have a cancer, they find cancer in those tumors. They have about a 1 year,
That
date.
was really sad for the whole school. The whole school was mourning.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
But it's neat that he has a legacy that's powerful, and then helping other young people that are in the same position. That's really neat. And I think his mother's the driving force behind that. Am I right?
Well, she is. She was the. She's the founder on that. I'm currently the president of that, actually, and
Great.
yeah. But I just right now I need to start get us back together because it's just been so hard to meet, and with the COVID, it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, the Zoom. I'm involved in multiple foundation or multiple nonprofits, and it's hard to do the Zoom thing when you're trying to have meetings. I mean, if you have to, you have to.
One-on-one though, you can nail.
One-on-one, we're good. We're all good. But when we have 10 people, I guarantee you 2 of them don't know what the hell they're doing, and they get left out. And it's
I think if you could be the guy that makes sure everybody's got their crap together technically, because you can do that now. You know how to do the Zoom. You could be that guy. That's a good, if you're the president, make sure everybody's communication lines are effective. That'll be powerful. Because right now you can't really use Zoom as an excuse anymore. It's been over a year. That's an old excuse. So now it's like, oh, we got to figure this out.
Right. So everybody should have figured it out by now. That's right.
So you can make it happen. You're the pres.
Yeah.
Who's your vice president? You got a good vice president?
I do have a good vice president. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and I think everybody on that board, you're correct on that, Brian, as far as a lot of people on that board in particular is younger. So we're good. I've got some boards where I've got 15 people on it, and they are some of them are elderly and they don't even have computers or,
Yeah.
so it's not beneficial for, all of a sudden we having, well, nobody can go except for this one person. Well, if this one
Yeah.
person can't go, then why can't I, why do I have to go type of thing? Then
Yeah.
you got like, there's reasons, people have,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
no, I know, but you can still keep things moving. Like if you're a president of another board, just get that, make sure everybody's got communication and they've got what do you call it, emails and all that. People can, if you got a guy that's coordinating or a girl that's coordinating the communication, then everybody gets the info and it'll flow well.
it's getting better, but
Yeah, it is. I've noticed groups getting better. The Longview School District seems to have adapted to the technology pretty good after a rough start. So
well,
we're
the
in that
Longview
now. We know how
downtowners
to do it
actually,
now.
the downtowners actually, we had our first board meeting
Yeah.
last week. It was pretty cool. That was nice. We've seen people again.
Yeah.
And we both got our vaccines now, so we're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had any side effects at all?
Just the last couple of days, but today I'm fine.
And you
Little
got
tired.
Pfizer. We both got Pfizer, I do believe.
Pfizer.
Right? Yeah. So I got Pfizer as well, and they shot on this side, so I have no side effects.
Yeah.
Kidding. But no, I think that I got the very first day I had a minor headache, and I would say also a minor, I would say a depression hangover, just a little bit,
Yeah.
like you feel gloomy, so just for the day type of thing. It was I don't know.
Well,
But
I found out today you have to get another one in 6 months. So
yeah, they said something like that. We'll see.
I hope it's not every 6 months. I hope that's the final one. I don't want to be getting vaccines every 6 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, I won't get one every 6 months.
They'll lose a lot of people with that. The people that are taking vaccines will go, oh man, every 6 months, count me out. We'll lose a few. Hopefully that's the last one. Pfizer's the one that has the least problems right now, so that's good.
But it's the one that needs to be done in 6 months.
Yeah, Moderna, I think, had some issues in Germany. So
I think JJ.
they had all kinds of them.
They have
Yeah.
problems.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they also have controversy because of some poison talcum powder stuff. So I'm glad we didn't do Johnson and Johnson until that all gets figured out.
Yeah, well, so far so good. Although I have been growing an extra arm here, and I was gonna say.
Well, with a Pfizer, you get the 5G injection so that you can actually get internet, internet in the brain.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're allowed, if you'll do the free Wi-Fi for the rest of your life, then
yeah. Well, I woke up this morning with a 5G, and I actually knew Michael Jordan's social security number, so that was weird. I'm not going to give it out, but
I woke up this morning with something else.
I already voted too. You can vote now and have it effective in 2024. So,
hey, there you go. Exactly. Oh,
by the way,
way,
Ryan Reynolds had a picture that he was getting the 5G, and it was funny.
Yeah, that's good.
But now they're saying it wasn't even him. So, the picture. Look at the picture. Everything's a controversy. It's not him. There is no Reynolds. It turns out doesn't exist.
What doesn't exist?
Ryan Reynolds. If you listen to those people, they're like, "That's not Ryan Reynolds."
Ryan Reynolds.
Another guy goes, "He doesn't exist. He was made in the lab."
Ryan Reynolds is seriously a stud. I think that guy is. I mean, besides the fact that he's, Deadpool, but before he was Deadpool, I mean, I get a haircut. Wow, guys, getting mad. But
he came out of nowhere with two guys, a girl, and a pizza place, and he was hilarious.
Yep. That was it. Two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Yeah, yeah, that was a huge. I love that show.
I love that show.
And then they changed the name to Two Guys and a Girl or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that, because the pizza place.
That was a little too silly, I guess.
But
then it became none of them and just one guy who's got a major career. That's how it went.
Pretty much, right?
He had to go. He had a stardom awaiting him.
Yeah. Hey, so but as far as he goes, I think he's probably one of he bought a cell phone service nowadays. That's why your 5G thing is. He owns a cell phone company. He's that big. He bought a cell phone company.
Wow.
He owns Mint Mobile or something like that.
Oh, is that him? Okay, people were commenting about. I didn't know the inside info, so I'm like, why do they keep saying Mint?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
the guy is he is going to be probably the richest star in the world as far as Hollywood star. I can't think of anybody that would own their own cell phone service. That's
yeah.
pretty big. But hey, I have a question for you if you want to get the questions.
Hey, one thing, the star of the Celebrity Apprentice once owned a country, so a whole
You did.
country. For 4 years, he owned a country.
Hey, touche, my friend, touche. Yeah, that's sick and sad.
Yeah.
But hey,
You know
you're
what
right.
though? He didn't get the deed notarized, so they took it
Yes, he
back. They
didn't.
took it away.
It was only a lease, Brian. He didn't own it.
He forgot to sign.
Yeah.
He thought he owned it, but that's okay.
Hey, so I have questions for you, by the way. We can start the one.
Sure, I'm excited.
So this question is a serious one. Boo-hoo. Actually, no, it's actually a fun one. But have you ever saved an animal's life or a person's?
Well, I saved my son's life. I grabbed him just in time. He would have got hit by this car. It was scary as hell. I did that, and then I've saved many animals' lives. I've even nursed rabbits back and all that stuff. All the corny Disney crap.
Yeah.
I saved a possum once.
Well, I don't know how you nurse a rabbit back to life. I'm just kidding. It's a bad joke. But
Actually, nursed a rabbi back to life too. but
there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I've
No.
done a lot of animal saving. Only one or two humans that I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I probably have saved a few animals here and there. Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure I have. On my own dogs and stuff. Obviously my
saved-
dog.
Yeah, you've saved your
My
dog's
dogs
life.
I have most definitely. Yeah.
You've probably saved your kid's life several times. Little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Your kids like,
Little
and then also just as far as yeah, I've been there and picked up some friends off the floor and saved their lives on different occasions of different things. I've been in the right spot multiple times in my life to help somebody. So that's the main thing is basically just if you're there, you do what you got to do. But God puts you in these spots, so you got to help. And I don't know, sometimes you get in trouble for trying to help somebody, but whatever.
Yeah.
It'll all come out in the wash,
Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah,
by the way is an old my old favorite or not famous. My old favorite sayings though is it'll all come out in the wash,
yeah.
because it's
I love
true.
that one. That's
Yeah.
a classic old folks from the old days.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so another question for you about that, and glad you saved your kids because they're good kids
Oh yeah.
and your animals, whatever you did there. But if you opened a business right now, what kind of business would it be?
I'd be a media type thing, media marketing, a lot of video, a lot of photos, a lot of motivational stuff too. I don't want to just people show off their business. I want them to get better at what they're doing. So it would be a little bit of it wouldn't be harsh, but it wouldn't be like a little mamby-pamby happy, we're going to market you. It's like, hey, you got some things you got to fix first, then we'll market you. So kind of, what do you call it? Not tough love, but just truth. Because some businesses are good and some of them want to market, but then they're not delivering on what they're marketing. So I'd work on that part. It's like, let's improve our service. Let's improve the look. You guys help with that. The CDC or whatever, they help the look and the
Sure.
signage and all that. Get yourself ready because when you market, you brag about your company. So, or your restaurant or whatever. So make it something you can brag about first, and then we hit them hard with a good marketing campaign. So it'd be a marketing, lots of video because video's taking over everything. I watch everything on video. I look at some pictures, but almost everything I do to get information is through video now. So, yeah.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
have good sound and lighting, and that their commercials tell the truth, but they're also funny and bring you in, because funny commercials bring me in. I want to go.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
Yeah. Jay's Burgers is doing a funny one with like Aunt Helen or something. There's some down home cooking. And so that's pretty good. I like that. I'd like to see
I guess
video.
yeah. I mean, if I was to throw that question to myself, if I own a business, what kind of business would it be? I think it depends on my purpose. Am I trying to raise money or am I trying to raise what I want? Because if I could own a business that was successful, and with that, I guess brings money, but I was
Yeah.
thinking motivational, and having people, if I could have a business that grew people's self-esteem, help people grow their self-esteem and their motivation. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's
Very,
where,
very similar to mine. I want
yeah,
to help people see the goodness in them because a lot of people don't see their good qualities. They beat themselves up. It's constant. I feel bad for people like that.
yeah. I'm
People that
like,
have made mistakes and stuff. It's like time to move on.
yep, can't go back. No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I got a lot of tough love thrown my way through the stuff I was listening to. All the guys come at you with a lot of tough love, a lot of hard truth you have to deal with. I mean, I
No
wouldn't.
going back, Bob.
Yeah. All those motivators have that. Even Brendan Burchard, he's sweet and nice, but he's like, you better get your crap together. The reason you failed is because you did it wrong. You know what I mean? Because
Right,
some people go, well, the market was wrong. No, no, you did it wrong. I did it wrong. We failed
right.
because you did it wrong. You don't fail because you did it right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
somewhere the line that it was your fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll make excuses sometimes, and I realize I always think about Michael Jordan scored 38 in the finals when he had the flu and almost was dying. So
Yeah, yeah. There's no
other
complaining.
our
There's
excuses,
no complaining in basketball.
yeah, but you know when people say I didn't feel very good, so the presentation went badly. Really, Michael Jordan had the flu and had to be given IVs, but he had 38 points in the finals. So what's your excuse again?
There's no crying in
Yeah,
baseball.
exactly. Well, I think once everybody does that for themselves, they feel better. You're happy about it. You're like, okay, I screwed up.
Yeah, I think that even saying that term really makes people smile, even
Which
though
term's that?
there's no smile, there's no crying in baseball.
That's a great one. That movie is so good because it comes in handy all the time.
Yeah, it does.
Somebody spray painted my garage and we could cry for a few minutes. Then we got to get working.
Right. Well, it's all these little quotes off of shows. They have really good writers nowadays, and like that movie in particular, that's from A League of Their Own, where the girls are baseball
Yeah.
players and
Great.
and the girl's crying. He says, and Tom Hanks says, "There's no crying in baseball," and
Yeah.
it's just perfect.
I
But
don't-
it's like I watched part of the Peaky effing Blinders this morning actually, and in that part was the mom who says to Tom, Thomas Shelby, the main character, who he picked up a little alcohol problem for a while, and
Ah,
when he does, he says, "We shake hands to the devil and walk on by."
yeah.
That's what he says,
I'm trying to learn that one.
shake hands to the devil and pass on by is what she says. So
Well,
yeah,
now they say go to the office of the devil, shake his hand, and then when he's not looking, place a camera somewhere and an audio recording device, and then later you could, if you need it, it's
use
there.
against him.
That's-
Yeah, there you go.
No, I try to
No.
avoid. I have certain places. There's a local feed. I'll say that I avoid totally, just because I'm shaking. I shook the hand of the devil. I'm walking on by.
Yeah, I think that that's when it comes to many things in life. I'm like, well, I have to get from point A to point B.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna have to go through these angels and devils to get there.
yeah. Well,
You know, it's fine.
I went through the devil that is CCN, we'll call it, and I just do better off to avoid it because it's not good for me or them. But I do have friends that'll be like, "Oh God, did you hear what so and so had said on CCN?" I've said, "No, thank you. I don't even want to know."
Yeah,
Got to avoid it. Some
Yeah.
people do.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of ways to avoid it, but even if, I mean, it doesn't mean to confront them. Just like
No.
you say, okay, no problem. You'll
Yeah.
keep on going.
Sometimes avoiding is the best way. There's no.
Yeah.
I get nothing out of somebody showing me something that's outrageous like that. So it's best to just avoid it.
So he's like,
been there,
don't tell me
tried-
more
I
shit about
tried.
TCN, huh?
Well, once you've tried, I have sites on Facebook, the national sites and stuff, and I've argued with people, and I realize it's not even worth it anymore.
I don't argue with people. There's no
said
point.
my piece, yeah. And the national sites, they'll do that because they aren't local folks, so I won't get in little scuffles.
Well, I think that everybody is learning about everything. So
Oh yeah,
It's just takes a little bit of time, and but there's no point in arguing about it. It's like, Facebook in particular is kind of like a party. And your mom always said,
Yeah.
don't talk about politics or religion at a party.
But there
And
are
so,
places you can go if you want to argue, and I'll do that.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but
You want, if
Facebook
you
for
want
me.
you want to get dirty, go roll in the mud, because
Yeah.
that's it's always
Well,
there.
but there's even some good ones where you have good discussions and it's not even fighting. There's some good ones. The Liberal Gun Club is actually pretty good. They do a good job of giving you facts and information and accepting views from both sides. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not bad. I don't mind learning a little bit. But if when I post something, it's funny because I have multiple friends, and I
yeah.
post something the other day, and somebody's like, "Well, Lonnie, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "How come this became a political discussion? Why are you trying to drag me down the mud? I'm not really playing that game right now."
Yeah.
So, and that's a part.
That's gotten better though, because politics invade posts less than they did, say,
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Well, there was that main one that was he was every day putting something out there saying evil spirits are haunting me type thing. Yeah, and he's gone now, so that's good.
Yeah.
But
There's still some complainer posts out there, but I just
of
move
course, of course, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, that's they're out there, and we're learning about it, but it's just one of those. I think the politics is one of those you really just. I mean, religion's okay, actually, just about nowadays to post on Facebook if you want. People don't. They don't want to hear it really most of the time,
Yeah.
a lot of times, but still, it's better than politics.
Yeah, I've avoided politics and religion on Facebook, so that's good. And I've noticed most people are pulling back, and everybody's getting along better, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Seems
Brian,
kinder, gentler.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit easier. And that's the problem. They called our current president Sleepy Joe, and I think the reason why is because with Joe in the office, I can sleep at night.
I like it. I like the sleepiness. We need some sleepiness.
Yeah. Oh, I may have asked this question before. I'm not quite certain. Where is the most beautiful place that you have been?
Oh, I've already asked it. I've got a bunch of them either by the creek up on Hokum Acres or Hawaii. I'm kind of thinking the Hokum Acres, actually. It's just a little spot by the creek. Just beautiful. It looks like something from a movie. Then it has these wild plants that you never see around here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'd tell you, but I don't remember her name.
Yeah. Well, anywhere nobody
no, that's horrible.
Anywhere nobody goes, man. If you can get to a mysterious place where nobody ever goes, it's amazing. And that place, very rarely, I haven't seen human footprints in some parts ever.
Yeah.
Except mine. But.
Yeah, well, you're not really quite human, I don't think, Brian, but hey.
I've seen no Bigfoot sightings yet, but I got some thoughts on Cooper, DB Cooper.
DB Cooper, well.
Yeah, this is the 50th anniversary coming up this year, and if we don't have them by then, we're never going to get them.
Brian, question for you. What do you bring with you everywhere you go?
A passion to find DB Cooper. I have a good idea where he might be.
On me, I had to go. My Max. I have a guy staying with me named Max at the moment. And he wanted to go outside, so I had to let him out.
So what do you always carry with you?
What do I carry with me? I carry my wallet, which is basically the wallet, phone with all my cards, and
keys.
If you want to steal my stuff, it's always a thing. And one car key or the key fob, because that's all I need in my life is the one thing. My phone, the phone, wallet, keys, whatever, that whole little thing. It's just I have no Lucky Charms or anything like that with me, but I
have wallet, phone, keys, gum, and scissors.
Scissors, there you go.
You might end up buying something and you can't get into the box.
Yeah, or if you're just trying to steal into them real quick before you. And it's just funny. You don't carry scissors with you all the time, do you?
Almost.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, constantly. Today I needed it at Lowe's, and I thought when I got out of the store, I cut it open, get rid of the box, packaging, take it home, pay for it, and then cut. Yeah.
Well, if anybody else is listening out there, important. I do carry a 44 mag and a switchblade at all times.
Yeah, I used to have scissors in each pocket when I used to walk at night. That was
Yeah.
when you're walking at night, you got to
Well, when
go.
I walked at night, I carried a lot more stuff. Yeah, you know. And my
Are you-
dog, I'd walk with my dog, mind you. He should have a giant Rottweiler, and I'd carry him, and that was pretty much it. It was like, I mean, I wouldn't carry him, I'd be happy with him. But when I walk, if I walk in a place that I don't trust, I carry bear mace with me pretty much at all times, and you know, you're not gonna see that stuff, but I refuse to basically, if somebody's gonna steal something from me, my item, my wallet, is actually not more important than your life, because you're an
Yeah.
idiot. It doesn't make it, So I don't want to shoot somebody.
But
Just
some people, like I used to walk across the bridge, the Cowlitz Way Bridge, coming this way at midnight on like 1 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, and you're not even thinking about robbery. You're thinking somebody might try to kill you. So I was always ready. I didn't really have weapons, but I kind of had a plan. I'd walk that
Yeah.
bridge every week. So if somebody tried to get me on the bridge, I could get them off the bridge easily. So just
you're
using,
gonna throw them off the bridge. You can throw them
I would
over.
have to. If somebody tried to attack me on the bridge, I'd have to throw them off because I'm not a great fighter. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, it doesn't matter if somebody attacks you. That's
yeah,
not
I'm not
fighting.
going to square up with the guy. I wasn't then.
Yeah.
I was going to get him off the bridge and just keep
Yeah.
walking. Because that's
Growing
a
up-
wrestling trick. They teach you that in wrestling. You can throw a guy anywhere you want.
Yep.
If he doesn't know you're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, I had no problem squaring up if need be. But as far as, I mean, if you're walking in a dangerous spot, that's not, somebody could attack you anytime. So that's not squaring up. And there's,
No, but if they
So-
stopped and said they wanted to fight, I'm not going to fight them. I'm going
but
to.
I always carried, when I was a young kid, I always carried a knife, a good sized knife of some sort. And,
I didn't carry
uh,
anything.
yeah, I carry a knife in my pocket. Well, I was like, third grade walking home.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking
2
high
o'clock in
school.
the morning.
15,
Yeah.
16, totally different.
Middle school, and like that, high school not so much, but yeah, I'd carry both buck knives on me and stuff, and just in case, which is strange because I never pulled one out on anybody, but I got them pulled out on me. So
Yeah. Well,
I
I
had
had
a buck knife pulled on me, I had a shotgun pulled on me, I had some, it's interesting,
Yeah, when I was a senior, I had both my cars disabled over time, and so I was without a car for a few months, and I would go to Longview and then have to walk back across Cowlitz Bridge at 1 a.m, and it was kind of scary, but you could see ahead of you. So the only way a guy could have got me was jumping off the top, and I knew there was nobody up there. I'd look at that too. So, but
Mhm.
it was
Well-
scary. It was scary, and I had to do that. Though I walked through the valley of death. That's how I got.
Oh,
my-
100%, yeah. You did that little walk, yeah, that walk the valley of shadow of death. I shall fear no evil.
'Cause
And I did that many times in my
from
life.
there, you had to go up into the hills, and there was no light, and it was
Yeah, well,
dark.
I've walked multiple times. I had friends who lived down in the Highlands, right?
Yeah.
And I walked through the Highlands at the wee hours of the morning or late at night. And of course, I was a young kid, and at that point, I was probably a teenager. But when I was a teenager, I was still, I mean, I was ready to rock and roll. But I was a teenager. Like somebody could just totally
Yeah.
show up and kill me. But so I would talk to myself like I was freaking crazy. I was like, yeah. I would walk down the street just talking to myself. People will think I'm nuts, and if they think you're nuts,
That's
they're
a
not
good
gonna mess
move.
with you. People will not mess with you. They think you're crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause, it's just it's kind of a funny thing there. But I did. I recall doing that. Being so scared, you're like, they ain't gonna mess with me. If you're talking to yourself, yeah, not that.
Well, fear is a
people-
good motivator. I like fear as a motivator, actually.
It is, yeah.
For
It
saving
is,
your
most
life.
definitely. Brian, what is the most disgusting habit that some people have?
I've covered that quite well, but I'll go with like one of them is like this guy. He was coughing way too loud today. It was like he has a need. I don't know why, but to tell the world he's coming. He was walking into Lowe's from 80 feet away, coughed hard as hell, and then just kept doing it. And it was, but he would only do it every 10 seconds, like it was a thing.
Well,
It's
you were
really
talking about somebody at Lowe's or somewhere yesterday. One of the workers coughing, and
Yeah, she was doing the cough where you're trying to call in sick, and if you're trying to go home sick in a few minutes, and so you're and then during this 2-minute deal, 4 times the Lowe's announcer said, stay 6 feet apart and remember to cough in your elbow. And she's coughing into the air as that's playing. I was like, okay, that's an
yeah,
annoying thing where you just have
that's disgusting.
no
Yeah,
awareness of other human beings during a pandemic.
that's disgusting. Sadly, I have a friend of mine who posted on Facebook today that well, about a couple days ago, she posted that she needed soup and she was not feeling very well. And she actually runs a restaurant, but
Oh,
yeah, but it doesn't matter. She's not she's not there now. But either way, she runs a restaurant, and she was asking for soup or stuff. She said, "Somebody come help me, some soup, yada yada." Well, then today, late last night, she posted that she has what was it? She has 2 ear infections. She has oh shit, not the flu, but what's the other stuff? The not bronchitis, not the flu, but she's got when the flu gets so worse, you get pneumonia. Just pneumonia in her lungs, just a double ear infection and COVID. And she's just hurting. And she is actually younger than I am, and so I felt really bad about her.
Does she think there's some link to the soup?
Nobody gave her soup. She was already sick.
Oh, I thought you said something about soup.
Well, she was asking for soup. Somebody come bring her some soup. I mean, she's like, I'm not feeling very good. I need.
She owns one of the restaurants.
She runs one of the restaurants. Yeah, but
see, if she doesn't say who she is, then it makes people not want to go to any restaurants. It scares people.
Well, she didn't post it on a public site. It was on her own personal site.
But you know what I mean? Now I have doubts about all restaurants, but I have to.
Well, you got to. You
have to. I got to go to one today. I feel pretty safe about.
So do I. So that's good. Yeah, but
I'm kind of trying to cook at home. We're talking about this. I want to make great meals at home. I want to learn how to do that. So
yeah, let's do it. Let's save us some money.
Yeah. Plus, you can have as much as you want. You can clean up, and you don't have to worry about it.
No.
You don't have to pay.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Service.
I'm all for it. We're gonna do. Normally, Brian and I go to lunch actually every day or every other day or whatever it was. But we're gonna do one day out, and then maybe during the week we're gonna eat lunches at home or cook lunch. So hey, you never know.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking we were gonna go one day eating lunch together a week out in the public.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Go out once a week. I might do that.
Yeah. And then, where and when was the most amazing sunset that you've ever seen?
Sunset?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It was almost every day driving home in LA when I had a job in LA, and I had to make this drive, and I could see the skyline of LA, and it had this color that only could be created by nature and smog. But it was beautiful. People would talk about it on the news and stuff.
Yeah.
The weather guy, it was beautiful, but it was chemically induced, but that's okay. It was,
Yeah. No, I've seen that. The orange.
That's beautiful.
And I think
purpley too. It would get purpley at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, certain times of the year. It was amazing.
There was the most beautiful sunset I've seen was actually here at this house. And the sky was completely orange, like deep orange. And I can't remember what that was from. But we did an eclipse a couple years ago. Remember? But there was it was just dark orange. The sky was orange and cool looking as the sun was going down. So it was one of the prettiest sunsets I've ever seen. And the pink, we get some nice pink and orange hues around here, and it's just great looking, And Northwest, I mean, I hate to say that, but Northwest is has some amazing views with the trees and the greenery. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's great. Well, we're an hour now. Should we pound it?
Are we? We are out now. Okay, good.
Well, then, 5.
Okay, awesome. Listen, so I'm going to go rock. You do what you want to do.
Okay.
Kidding.
Oh, you did. I had to take a chance. Okay, let's go. Whoa. Oh, you can't get off it. And go.
There you go. Look at that. See, I got you. Look at that.
I was going rock till I won or lost. Well, I will see you.
I think what that's like
this.
Well, I'm not sure what the record was real quick, but I think you about 8 in a row there. So
yeah, I have to go through the tape.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, brother. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Peace out, Boy Scout.